This Daf Yerushalmi Eruvin in the article Ozva additional Daf Yurches Amrav, the sixth line down at the two dots, Karper Sheshbo Midas Sosaim, and in the Vilna it's on Yud Zayin Amrav, the seventh line down. Karper Sheshbo Midas Sosaim Enam Mutzah Talabo Arba Amos. Karper, which is precisely a Sosaim, you're only allowed to carry 4 amos. Now that's a Korban Eider's pshat. Korban says it's a karpav which is precise to sign as if it's more than a sign. He points out the Rambam disagrees. The Rambam holds that karpav which is precise to sign is as if it's less than a sign, and therefore it's mutter to carry in it, even though it's not mukaf l'dira. But that would be going like the Bavli. The Yerushalmi argues according to Korban Eider holds that precisely a base of sign is like more than a base of sign. It's also. Gilin Hashas tries to say that no, the Yerushalmi is lav dafka. It's also like the Bavli, and precise base of time is like less than a base of time. And the Rambam would be going also like the Yerushalmi, but Reb Chaim says shot in the Yerushalmi like the Korban Eidah. Now, a very interesting case. We have Hoyushnaim. You have two karpefos next to each other. Bezeh beisah, bezeh beisah, chasar arba amos. If one is a beisah and another is a beisah, less 4 amos. So together, they're 2,501, 2,496 the other, 20, and that's together 4,996. So, Rabbi Zia B'Shem Yod said, "Metalim B'Sheni Tashlum Rishon." You can carry the second one as a tashlum to the first one. That doesn't mean only up to a certain area. In other words, since together it's a base, less a base of time, it's fine. Rabbi Shem Yod said, "No, ain't Metalim B'Sheni Tashlum Rishon. You can't carry in the second one." It's even though together in less base of time, the Korban Eider and Reb Chaim both say it's a gzera. They're afraid that you're going to come a scenario where it's more than a base of time between the two of them, and you're going to carry anyway. So for the fact that now even though you know there's less than a base of time between the two of them, we don't let you carry between two karpefos next to each other. So one karpe you can carry up to 5,000 square amos. In two karpefos, even if one is base saw and the other is a little bit less than a base saw, so again less than a sign, can't carry from one to the other. Rabbi Zira said, Mother Rabbi Labla concedes. Shema Yushlosha, if they're 3. Bezeh Beisah, Bezeh Beisah, Bezeh Beisah. And we forbid you to carry into the third one. You can only carry from one to the other. Even though the two of them together, each is a base of sign, up to a base of sign, of course, according to what Korban said. Nevertheless, because you're not carrying the third one, that's going to remind you that elsewhere you'll make sure not to carry from karpaf, which is a base to karpaf base lest together they be more than a sign. Because here there's a third one which we left off limits anyway. So therefore that's the remembrance, okay? So it says, again, I would say, carry to the second one as a completion of the first one, but not into the third one. The article is interesting discussion here because he says, if the 3 karpefos one next to each other, why would there be a problem anyway? Each one is separate. Each one is distinct, right? So, so he wants to make a very strange scenario over here. It's not his, according to somebody else, where this one is parts b'milua because it's a 10 amma opening here, with no walls from its perspective on each of these. Okay, this is not Pashut Pshat in Yerushalmi at all, but he wants to make it that fascinating scenario where, the middle one has walls, but the outer two, from their perspective, don't have the walls because they're narrowing walls. So they're parts milum to the middle one. So still you can carry from one to the other, but not to the third one. Okay, but the Pashtus says that since there's no concept of Eru by karpefos, so therefore it's just karpefos by themselves. So there's no concept of Eru here. So therefore, you had to carry from one to the other, but not to a third one, where they're again it's regardless of the configuration of whether it's this strange picture of the article or whether it's just 3 one after the other. Okay, karbachish base asim. Now, actually, base asim here means larger base asim up to a base asim. It was coming from larger down to the base of sign, and as Kormeda Lushitosa says, that the base of sign itself is like more than the base of sign. So you don't have to carry in it, but that's nevertheless there is a way to get it to be mutter to carrying this karpaf. If you have a shayar there, you have the three people, so then each one can get a sign. You can combine together. So no matter how large it is, as long as it isn't a base of sign open, we know that you'll have to carry. There ways to make a larger karpaf mutter to carry, so it indicates that it's still just a yochid. It's just we're machmir it. So Hovu Roy Later they show us it's a way to be matter by having a caravan there and them taking a room in that karpaf. So therefore Zarek L'Shus Rabim Tochel Chayv. You throw some L'Shus Rabim into a karpaf, it's Chayv. It's a L'Shus Yochid Daraisa. It's a Karmelis Drabanan, but it's a L'Shus Yochid Daraisa. A Reshur Yitzchak boy. Reshur Yitzchak asked. L'Shiatsu Shayora, when Shayora acquiesces to come here, right? She's Ratsu. Shayora, then Lesor to Aser, in other words, it's going to make it L'Shus Yochid, then Esor, then say it's Aser. Okay, and then it's then you're not allowed to throw from L'Shus Rabim into it because now it has the status of L'Shus Yochid. But Chayav Chatas ain't come, but who says Chayav Chatas? In other words, Adarabba. Maybe this is the Karmelis Daraisa, right? And it's just that Rabbanan were maker by a Shayora. And they said when there's that Shayora here, we can enclose it and carry there. But who says it's Rishus Yochid Daraisa? They go Chiv Chatas ain't got. There's no Chiv Chatas who says that there's any that makes Rishus Yochid. The article with Girza is Kshetati Renu Shayora. I'm not sure where the Girsa comes from. Don't know where. From the side of Leiden. So it says we're going back on the, not Yerushalmi Yitzchak, but rather on Rabbi Avo. So a me'ata, according, if that's the case, Mavish Krosa Ma'ameh, if you have a Mavi where the core is above 20 amos, which is no good except for according to Rabbi Yehuda, and it's not clear why it says here, Ho'avu Kasha, that's Rabbi Yehuda, Mishloshis, right? If you look at Rabbi Ede, he takes out this whole line. He says, this is since you put it below, since you lower it to less than 20, you throw it to Yachayv. This is what he means to say. I'm reading from the Kormeda. Isa out there, Miran Hoyel Borei L'Shayora, since the Hoyel L'Shayor could be there. It makes you say Yochid. Can have Khan here too. No more Hoyel V'Yochel, so it's made of Shus Gomer Yachayv. If you make it Shus Yochid Gomer, you should be Chayv. So it seems to be that this, Reb Chaim points out, that it seems to be that this is going like the Rambam Shita, that Rishus HaYochid, the Raisa requires 4 walls. It had 3 walls, now Rishus HaYochid, the Raisa Mamish. And that you have to need 4 walls. And therefore, it's saying that the Korah would be the 4th wall. And since the Korah, if you say Migo, or Hoil, that since the Shara would come, then it would be, it could make Rishus HaYochid, the Raisa. So too, here too, if you would lower the Korah, it would make Rishus HaYochid the Raisa. It's going to lower the Korah to less than within 20. It would make Rishus HaYochid the Raisa. It's a difficult Gemara because according to most poskim, we hold the 3 walls already. It's the Raisa, and the Korah is only according to the Rabbanan. It's not part of what makes it into a Rishus HaYochid the Raisa. I looked around to see if anybody else learns Yerushalmi differently, but basically that's the way you learn it. That the article does too, that it's going to go to the sheet that you need 4 walls, Midoraisa, and the Korah is the 4th wall. And it could be that that's why it says Adaiti Rabbi Yehuda. Pascha way, but anyway. Next case. Mavi Shivat Yosim Yaser, Mavi which has a pierce of which is more than 10 amos. Which pierces the Mavi Adaiti Rabbi Yehuda Mishloshis way. since the appears of a Mavi according to Rabbi Yehuda, we learn from Pasipiro, is going to have up to 13 and a third. The Zog was just Ram so that if you throw from Shusram inside, you should be chayiv. Now here it's very strange because here there's no hoil. What's the hoil here? Okay, before you said hoil, there could be a shayora hoil that you can lower the core. Where's the hoil? How they can make it less than 10, but why being Rabbi in the first place? And any period, so no matter what size, what difference does it make? You always make it less than 10. So now I'm thinking, I want to go back here and learn the previous case, not like the Korban Eidah, and learn these cases, both cases, specifically Rabbi Yehuda. And I think that the Gemara is saying here a fascinating thing. Gemara is saying that, according to Rabbi Yehuda, there's a heter tiltul, even though something is not Rishus Yochid Daraisa. The core above 20, Taka doesn't make, according to Rabbi Yehuda, according to the way Yerushalmi is saying it, doesn't make Rishus Yochid Daraisa. Okay, it's going with the opinion they need to have 4 walls Daraisa. And this doesn't make a 4th wall. The core above 4 to 20 amos, even Rabbi Yehuda agrees, not going to make it a 4th wall Midaraisa. It's Chazal Matir, with the Korah, no matter how high it is. But it doesn't make it's not a 4th wall. The 4th wall would have to be Mamash Tzuras HaPesach or something of that sort in order to be a 4th wall. And or Korah may be lower than 20 amos because we're not from Heichal. But although going to be, it doesn't sound that it should be even higher. But the point is, for some reason, Yerushalmi is assuming that according to Rabbi Yehuda, a Korah above 20 amos, it's matir, tiltul, but it doesn't make a shus yochid. And the same thing where you have opening of more than 10 amos. According to Yehuda, tiltul is mutter, it doesn't make a shus yochid. That's the way the Yerushalmi understands Rabbi Yehuda. Why understands Rabbi Yehuda that way? Good question. But evidently that's the way Yerushalmi understands Rabbi Yehuda. Don't argue about what makes a shus yochid daraisa. They argue there's such a thing as being matir tiltul, even though it's not a shus yochid daraisa. So once you see that there is such a shita in Rabbi Yehuda, that Yehuda was matir tiltul, it doesn't make sense shus yochid daraisa. The same thing Gemara is going to say by shayora. The fact that when there's a shayora, you're allowed to enclose an area more than base asayim, it doesn't mean that becomes shus yochid daraisa. It means it's a karmelis in which you can carry, like these cases according to Rabbi Yehuda. So let's go back and learn it like that as well. So at the mother you just cross the mountain me estim. However, kasha daited Rabbi Yehuda, which kasha Rabbi Yehuda, the words bishlosh that you have to take out anyway. Everybody agrees. That's from the next case. It got slipped up some there somehow. No, it's not. It's a karmelis which you're allowed to carry. Because of the 13. No, it's not. It's a karmelis which you're allowed to carry. It's not a rishus yochid. So here too, the karpaf more than base asayim, which is a shayora. It's not a rishus yochid the raisa. It's a karmelis which you're allowed to carry. Okay, chotzer sheep suchel karpaf. Chotzer resum to a karpaf. Metaltlin metaltlin the chotzer karpaf cracker the chotzer the karpaf aluminum karpaf the chotzer. We had this a couple of blocks ago. We said the sheet of the Or Sameach was that always the area which is less mukaf is tougher to the area which is more mukaf. So therefore you can carry from the chotzer to the karpaf and not from the karpaf to the chotzer. And Rabbi Yehuda and the entire Shah Maul Talta Mekarpav the Karpav there Chotzer can you carry from a Karpav to a Karpav through a Chotzer which is between the two of them, and the Chotzer is obviously Iker, has 2 Karpefos, one on each side, so each Karpav is bottled to the Chotzer. But you carry from one Karpav to the other Karpav, or not. It's like a Makam P'tur, right? We can't carry from one side to the other side, so we can't carry from one carpet to the other carpet, even though you can carry the chalitza to both carpefos, and it's a bayad love. If she does, the Gemara does not resolve the question. Okay, Allah Chavav. Rabbi Yehuda, I feel ein bo elabar v'siach u'ma'ara metaltlim b'socha. Even if it only has a well, and even less than that, a siach is the Carbonated says bor is b'chafira, bor is dug out. A siach has a structure inside, I guess, which retains it. Or he says, or else one is square and one is circular. And or even it's a cave where you can take shelter in that cave from the sun. So metaltalin b'toicha. You can be metaltel within the bar karpav. So he says that you don't need to have in order to be considered roy ladira. You don't have to have what we said in the previous Mishnah. Ben Bava said Beis Shomera or Beis Dira or Smuch Le'ir. He says no, even if it only has a bar of Siach Amara. That's very considered Mukhav Ladira. Kiva Omer, Kiva said, I feel Emba Achas Mikolim B'Tachlim B'Tochim, is the way we paskin. You don't need any of these things. Uvad Shetei Shivim V'Shiraim Al Shim Shiraim. As long as it's 70 and 2/3, according to Korban Eda. As we said that Yerushalmi said, if it's precisely that amount, it's no good. Under that amount is good according to the Yerushalmi amount. That's also good as if it's under that amount. It's Gemara says Mechav Shitas Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda sees contradicting himself. The Tina Talmud we learned over there in Maseches Beitza, even though it's a different type of karpav. Ezu karpav, it's a karpav from which you're allowed to bring wood on Yontif. Koshu samach le'ir, anything which is destined to the city. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, Bar Siach don't play a role there. V'kor amarachein, here it says you need a Bar Siach Umara. There's nothing about samach le'ir. So Amar Imana said Kibeis Dira Avil Rabbi Yehuda. He says no, it's a different type of karpaf over here. Here it's a question of Beis Dira. And like Korban says, Koshesh Borosiach or Amara. That's at a base there, of course, like Amanda Poli, right? And but the Korban still learns that it is relevant to there. In other words, he says the Mutal Levi Eitim, all those cases you bring wood, or Beitza Irish and a Beitza where it doesn't have any of those things, and therefore the criterion is Samach La'ir. But the Korban and Beitza and Reb Chaim and their art scroll will learn, no, it's not, they're not connected at all. In other words, it's not that, okay, they're both about the same type of karpaf, and here it's, he mentions some criteria, and there he mentions other criteria. No, they're different type of karpaf. Here it's about a karpaf in terms of tiltul, and in order to have a tiltul, it has to have a base here, and some clear is not good enough. And there's about karpaf in terms that the wood inside is not muktzah. And for that purpose, it's got to be samuch le'ir. And having a base there inside has nothing to do with making the wood inside of it muktzah or not muktzah. So that's two different types of karpefos. So Korban Eder here learns there's a connection, and either the same karpefos have similar parameters, and either need one of these types of structures or samuch le'ir. According to Korban Beitza and Reb Chaim, no, there are two different types of karpefos. Karpef over here, is in terms of tiltul, needs to be roy ladira. The karpef over there, in terms of eitzim, that requires that it be samuch le'ir. Okay, halacha zayin. Rabbi Elazar Arka Yisrael Rachba. If this base of Saim was the karpef was more long than wide, if you achas even one amma. Ein metaltalin b'soicha can't carry it. Rabbi Yosamar, if you arka shnayim b'grachba, even if it's twice as long as it's wide, then metaltalin b'soicha can still carry inside it. He doesn't care that it doesn't require a square, even rectangular is fine. Okay, Tani Rabbi Elazar Omer, listen me arka yosa rachba afilu am achas ein metaltalin mitocha. V'ada plik Rabbi Yonason. Says Rabbi Yonason. So Pnei Moshe says. Piska Rabbi Elazar Mechlei, Tani Rabbi Elazar Mechlei, the plea of Rabbi Elazar, Klomar Lahait, the Sfila Rabbi Elazar and Cain, according to that which according to Rabbi Elazar holds, it came Polik who are the Hada Rabbi Yonason, come out Mechatzar Mishkan Lomdu. If you learn 5,000 Amos from this Chatzar Mishkan, there it was 50 by 100. It wasn't square. So you can't learn from Chatzar Mishkan. Rabbi Yosef. The Omer, I feel Arkashnayim Berachba, Metaltim Misoicha, or the Messiah Rabbi, because that's exactly was the proportion in the Mishkan, 50 by 100. So Gemara now brings down a similar machlekes. Tani, Vatani, it's Benichusa, like the Pnei Moshe says. It's not a question. Vatani, we have something similar. Kilayim, it says here in the Vilna Beruba with a hay, but it should be Berova with an ayin. The article is Berov Ab with Beis Ayin Hey, same idea. So the shear of Kalayim, there's certain things in Kalayim where the shear is the base rova. And the article points out base rova. A rova is 1/24th of a sa'ah. And the sa'ah is 2,500 square amos. So base rova is 104 square amos, approximately. So this is the shear of base rova, which is the shear of harchaka. This is between certain types of grain, bred in the same field. So that base rova is a machloikas. That Rabbi Yossi Omer, the Rafilu Harka Kishnayim Barachba, that it can even be according to there's the Sefta first brings down the Shita of, like Moshe says, Sevi Klaim Perik Beis, Kaim Midas Beis Rova Shalom Klaim Eser Amos Mechza Eser Amos Mechza Merubos, approximately 10.5 by 10.5. Because square is I feel Arka Kishnayim Barachba, as it says that it's even twice as long as it is wide. So whatever the cheshbon is. So in any event, so there's similar machlokas over there. Halaches. I'm Rabbi Loi. Rabbi Loi said, Shemati Rabbi Lezer. I heard the name Rabbi Lezer. I feel like a base core. That even if the karpaf is like a base core, that's okay. And he says, Korban explains, feel like a base core. The low down in the bika sound like a bika. The bika lo mesayim is chisosel. The bika, an open area, doesn't have specific defined walls. And with that, midro nichlas is the manner it has. It's like a hill where you can go up and down a slope. I have a beginning of a carpa, but if you have an area which is actually enclosed, which is like a garden or a other type of closure, which have valid walls, even though they're not made to live within them, metallic ben afilu base core can go up to a base core, which is of course much more base to sign. Base core is. Let's go sometimes bring down the measures here. 30 times the base saw. Okay, so the so that's 15 times the base saw sign. We also heard from him. Person, members of the chotzer, the one I forgot to make an eruv, based also achnis hotzi low. His house is also for them for him to take in out of. So Korban explains. Next day is about to shus chavero. Because before he does bitul shus, he didn't participate in the eruv. He asks for them to take in and out of their houses to the chotzer. Based also achnis hotzi chotzer litzarko. They can't take things out and in for him for his purpose from his house. Avalahen mutar. But they're allowed to lahavi klebeit batein the base of their chotzer to bring their kelim to his house. Their chotzer. Okay, the chen shat the man also heard from him. Shutz bakrab nin bepesach. Nin is a type of morer. Because that they called Amidav. I went to all the students. The b'kashul chaver. I tried to find somebody who said like him. V'lo matzasi, and I did not find anybody who says these three things. The Korban says, I heard this, but none of his other Talmidim heard any of these three things from him. Okay, we're on the next moment, so we'll stop here for today.